The Roadshow is a program designed to deepen the relationship between arts organizations and young potential audience members between the ages of 23 and 39.
I think that's something that all of the art groups have trouble with, is you have a very dedicated older group who come to everything.
The bulk of our members were 50 and older.
So you really have to try and get a younger audience involved. When y'all came to us with this, I thought it was a great idea. It took very little effort on our part, and I think it's had really good results. It was very exciting.
The New Audience Roadshow tested the idea that if you taught young adults about the arts and helped them understand what they were seeing or hearing, that you could actually take what had initially been a two-dimensional experience for them, something they stood outside of, and make it a three-dimensional experience, something where they interacted and saw their own thoughts and ideas reflected in the work that was being presented.
I think involvement in the Roadshow has already affected my involvement in other arts organizations.
When I encounter a work of art, think about how it was produced, what kind of materials were used to produce it, what kinds of staging was done if it's theater, what kind of film angles were done if it's a film.
This year we visited the Columbia Museum of Art, the Nickelodeon Theater, which is an independent art house theater here in town, the Power Company, a contemporary dance company, the South Carolina Philharmonic, and Trust Us Theater, a professional nonprofit theater here in town.
It's been really neat to be able to engage in conversation with them and actually say that, wow, I know an artist, or I know someone who works in an arts organization. That's been really cool, and to sort of break down that barrier.
At each of our roadshow stops, we visited 3 times. The first 2 visits were behind-the-scenes visits, where we learned the art form and we met the artists and really got the chance to understand not only how they did what they did mechanically and the basics of the art form, but also to get a really good sense of why they perform or why they create and develop a relationship with the organization.
I thoroughly enjoyed the behind-the-scenes visits as well as the actual performance of the South Carolina Philharmonic. I felt as though she really connected with the roadies, and she helped us understand the connection to the music and her interpretation of the music, and that's what made a huge difference and a huge impact on me.
We decided to integrate a session where a local filmmaker actually came and actually talked about her work and showed a piece of her work. I think she's actually kept up with some of these guys, and it was kind of a monumental experience for us. You know, we didn't really screen it in our cinema, we screened it in a little informal room.
It was a group of really fun people, so it was fun. I was surprised at how open they were to being a part of whatever we asked them to do. I asked them to dance in public, on stage, and they did it.
Probably one of the things that surprised me most was that I really enjoyed the modern dance section, which I wasn't expecting to and I was most nervous about. But the Power Company, they were so welcoming, they were so interested, they were excited to have us there. And so they really got us involved to the point where we ended up being in their show.
Our third visit was for an opening or a performance, and each roadie, which is what we called our participants, had to bring 2 friends or 2 family members. And then their job became to help their friend understand what they had learned during their backstage visits.
I would define the Roadshow as sort of a hybrid between a class, a learning experience, and a social group, because you're getting a blend of both. You're able to learn about the art, but then also gain friends.
Now I've got like 20 people on email and speed dial that I can just call up and say, hey, let's go to the movie, let's go see this play, let's go to the symphony.
I believe that as a result of this program, I will attend more arts performances, and I think I've just become much more attuned to that.
What we found was that our roadie participants were more than willing to get involved as members, as volunteers, and some of them it looks like even as future board members.
I was kind of at a level where I participated in a lot of these events but didn't feel really connected with the directors, and now I feel much more comfortable thinking about being on different boards.
Having conversation with them and making them sort of come at more of a peer level, that's been really neat, and that has encouraged me to want to go to their organizations again.
What has happened, we know, is that they're coming back. We see them a lot. We see them as members.
It was really interesting to see what different people responded to on our different stops. Some wanted to know more about the business side of the organizations. Others really wanted to better understand how they should act when they visit. And still others really wanted to dissect whatever was on stage or on the wall. And so we learned a lot about different removed barriers to participation for people in this age group.
The most shocking thing we learned from the roadshow was the intimidation factor.
Not knowing how to react and how to act when at the art museum, and that definitely was a barrier for me to go.
I was surprised that people that had the skills, the background, the education that they did were still so intimidated to come to the museum. Just coming to the building was an intimidation factor. I had no idea.
It's given me a confidence to take my interaction with the arts to the next level.
We hope that the Roadshow program spreads to other communities throughout the Southeast. We really have seen a change in our roadies as participants, but perhaps even more importantly in the organizations that took part. They've learned to listen more closely and design programs and experiences that really welcome the young but eager audiences in our community.
It made us rethink what we were doing. It made us kind of look at the museum with fresh eyes and approach it in a different way that we hadn't done before.
Well, I think anybody who passed up this opportunity would be making a bad decision, because I can't see going wrong with being a part of it. It's just a wonderful opportunity.
It wasn't just their employees that met with us, like the heads of all these organizations met with us and spent time with us, and we're really excited about it. So thank you so much.
I got to tell you, these people really thank us daily when we see them about this experience for them. And you know, that's the payoff for us, that what we're doing really meant something to them and what they're doing means something to us. So it's a win-win total.